Right, in this video we're going to look at how to differentiate these questions. So this comes from your actual work that you've been doing. This is exercise 9.1, and what we are doing with exercise 9.1 is we are finding question 5. So we were asked to find the gradient of these expressions at certain points. So the first one, the point we were told was we were going to find the gradient of this at the point 1, 2 over e. Now gradient means we need to do dy dx. If you look at the first one, we're actually multiplying two expressions together, which means we're going to use the product rule. So let's quickly recap what the product rule means. Well, the product rule means if I've got two expressions, u times v, then dy dx is equal to the derivative of u times v plus the derivative of v times u. So let's make u equal to 2x cubed. Then du dx, or u dash, is equal to 6x squared. Actually, let's call it u dash just to keep with the same notation so that you don't get too confused. So let's call that u dash. Then we've got v. V is equal to e to the minus x. And v dash, learning that new thing we've learned, is minus e to the minus x because the derivative of minus x is minus 1. So now I'm going to put it into the expression. So dy dx is equal to u dash, which is 6x squared, times v, plus v dash, which is minus e to the minus x, times by u, which is 2x cubed. We are then told that x is equal to 1 because we want the gradient at a specific point. So that is 6 times 1 squared, e to the minus 1, minus, because a plus and a minus make a minus, e to the minus 1, times 2 to the 1 cubed. Well, this is going to give me 6 e to the minus 1. This bit here gives me 2 e to the minus 1, which is 4 e to the minus 1, which can be better written as 4 over e. So this first one needs the product rule. Right, in the next one, we've got to differentiate this expression, and we're trying to find the gradient at the point 0, 8. So this is a good case of the chain, not the chain rule. Yes, the chain rule. Sorry, that's the chain rule. Now let's remind ourselves what the chain rule is. The chain rule says, well, what you do, if y is equal to some expression to a power, let's call the power n, then you differentiate the whole thing, so it's n, u to the n minus 1, and you multiply by the derivative of u, the derivative of my inside expression. We might have actually, we did this originally, called that f of x instead of u. So you differentiate the entire thing as if that was just one letter, and then we times by the derivative of the inside. So let's try that. The 3 comes to the front. We take 1 off the 3 to give us 2. And then we multiply by the derivative of inside. And the derivative of e to the 2x is 2e to the 2x. And the derivative of 1 is just 0. Now I'm told to make x equal to 0 because that's the point I want. So I get 3 times e to the 0 plus 1 squared times 2 e to the 0. Well, this is going to give me 1 plus 1, which is 2. 2 squared is 4, so that gives me 12. E to the 0 is 1, so it's 12 times 2. So the answer is 24. In the third one, we're going to use, I've still got my old workings out here. I was playing around with this before I started making this video. Let me get rid of all that for you. So in this one, we're going to use the chain rule, but using ln's. So let's have a look at how to do it. So you learned with an ln, so if y was equal to ln x, let's call it ln f of x, then dy dx is equal to 1 over that f of x times by the derivative of f of x, so f dash x. Well, we're going to do that. Now let's just think, if I make my f of x equal to root x squared minus 1, that's the same as x squared minus 1 to the half. So when I differentiate this, half comes to the front, take 1 off the power, hopefully you recognize the chain rule as well, and times by the derivative of what's inside, which is 2x. Now a half times 2 is 1, so I'm left with x squared minus 1 to the minus a half. Now we're going to put that into the expression. So when I do dy dx, it's 1 over what we've got, which is the square root of x squared minus 1, times by the derivative, which is x over the square root of x squared minus 1. If you don't understand where I got that from, well, this is the same as x times 1 over x squared minus 1 to the half. Well, to the half, you remember from GCSE, means square root, which gives me that. Now, when I multiply these together, well, let's not multiply them together. There's no need. We were given a point. The point we were given in this particular one was 3 ln 2 over 2. All I'm going to do is make x equal to 3, and I get 1 over the square root of 3 squared minus 1, square rooted, times 3 over the square root of 3 squared minus 1, square rooted. Well, that's 8. So that's the square root of 8 times the square root of 8, which hopefully you know is 8. Alternatively, just use your calculator. And that is how to do those 3 questions.